Ako si Elmer Ordoñez, pinanganak sa Huban, Sorsogon. Pero lumaki na ako sa Manila. Nag-umpisa ako magsulat sa high school. Nung in-encourage ako ng isang teacher na sabi sa akin na pag pumunta ako sa UP, sumulat ako para sa literary apprentice. So, yun ang ginawa ko. Nagsulat ako ng short story na sa una reject nila ng Free Press at saka ng Chronicle Magazine si Kerima Pulutan at saka si Teddy Locsin ng Free Press. So, nagpursige ako, binigay ko naman sa Literary Apprentice na edited by William Pomeroy at saka si S.V. Epistola. So, yun ang unang storya ko na na-publish sa Literary Apprentice. So, na-encourage ako. So, kumuha ko ng exam para sa Collegian at lumabas ako as editor-in-chief. So, mga kasabay ko doon sa UP, Diliman, sila Ronnie Diaz, S.B. Epistola, Andres Cristobal Cruz, Rolling Les, sino pa ba? Virgin Moreno, and Amelia La Peña. Ngayon, ngayon? Bonifacio, Mrs. Bonifacio. Anyway, merong workshop si MVM Gonzales at yun, sumali ako ron. Pero ang puna ko sa workshop na yon, wala kang tamang ginawa. Laging mali as far as MVM Gonzales. It was not really very encouraging. Marado ka na kagad. Kaya maraming nawalan din ng gana. And, pero may mga naging mga favorites na naging sila Ronnie Diaz, Andres Cruz na sumali sa Palangka. Kabubukas lang ng Palangka noon. At nanalo na unahan pa nila si MBM at saka si Arceliana. Naka-first prize sila MBM, mga second. Ganyan. Yun ang nakakatuwa roon. Anyway, yung grupo na yon naging, ang tawag namin doon yung Ravens as a subgroup of the UP Writers Club. Naging editor din ako na apprentice. Pero at that time, wala na akong gana sumulat ng short story. Mas ang hilig ko kay essay. Yan. So, kaya maaga pa, essayist ang aking reputation. Yan. Sabi nga ni Frankie later on, yan, lumabas ang isang storya ko sa Free Press, yung Twilight in Quebec. Sabi niya, maganda raw yun na essay. In other words, hindi istorya, essay daw. Anyway, naging nagtuturo ako sa UP, Diliman. I was caught up with academic pursuits. Kaya pinadala ko sa abroad for PhD. Sa pagbalik ko, yun ang naging ambition ko, maging academic scholar. Anyway, by the late 60s, early 70s, yun pa yung tinatawag na first quarter storm. na-involve ako sa Civil Liberties Union at na-blacklist tuloy ako. Kaya yung nag-visiting professor ako sa Penang, kinancel ang passport ko, 1973. From Penang, patpat ako sa Canada, sa Montreal, kasi nga binigyan kami ng asylum ron. And wala akong sinulat doon kundi anti-martial law, anti-dictatorship pieces, no? Bale, propaganda na yan. So we were caught up in that kind of struggle for the restoration of civil liberties and so forth. Yung bandang malapit na yung during the election, yung mock election ni Marcos, nakabalik na ako. Wala na ako, parang nakalimutan na yata ako sa wala na ako sa listahan. At saka meron din naman ako mga kilala sa na malapit sa regime, gaya ni Adrian Cristobal. So ayos na yon, bumalik na EDSA. Pero ang madalas kong sulat kung mga essays ulit tungkol sa sitwasyon, para mga political essays. Na-compile ko yon sa isang anthology called The Other View. Ayan, tinuloy ko rin yung column writing ko para sa Manila Times at from 2004 to 2012, mga 8 years. So, na-compile ko yung panay essays yun. 3 volumes. Ang tawag, The Other View. Pero iba-iba mga topics. Mayroon sa literature, may academe, may politics, saka mga random essays. So pag-retire ko noon, naisipan ko na tuloy sulat uli ng fiction. Pero ang ginawa ko, marami kasi akong memoirs. Sumulat akong mga panay memoirs na disguised as fiction. Kaya may nagsasabi, hindi nila malaman kung essay ang sinusulat ko or fiction. So, one catchword yan is creative non-fiction. Anyway, sabi nga ni Ronnie Diaz, these are autobiographical stuff disguised as fiction. Yun ang naging forte ko. Kaya may mga ilan na ako na sulat na ganon ang style. So sa tingin ko, I am more of a essayist or critic, literary critic. Naiiba ko sa formalist criticism ng panahon na yon during the 50s. Hanggang ngayon, formalist pa rin ang takbo ng isip ng how do I describe myself as a critic? I'm what you call a contextualist critics. I consider background, biography. Sa tingin ko kasi mas na-appreciate mo yung storya pag alam mo ang context ng So ang problema sa criticism ngayon, tinitiglang lang nila yung form. Kaya ang tawag natin ng mga formalist critics. Hanggang ngayon, maano pa yon sa mga workshop. Kaya sabi nga ni Cirilo Bautista, sabi niya, I agree with Elmer who thinks that these workshops are really exercises in literary criticism. I directed mga 4 na workshops, 1969 sa Iloilo. Doon ko na-meet yun sila ayan, sila Almario, sila Lamberto, sila Roger Ordoñez, yung mga ganon. And that was a time when ang madalas isulat na ngayon ng mga young writers panay tungkol sa political situation. Lalo na sa 1971 workshop sa Cebu. O ayun, dumalo rin din sa Cebu workshop yung dalawang tiempo, si Edelberto at saka si Edith. Natutuwa ako rin sa mga comments ni Edelberto. Talagang formalist na formalist. He would dwell on, let's say, the papayas in bloom of Argelia sa isang storya niya. So anyway, mga writers ngayon doon, yan, sila Ninotska, sila Delphine Tolentino. That was the last workshop I directed na under the auspices of the Department of English man noon. So 72, umalis na ako. Pagbalik ko, binigyan uli ako ng isang assignment ni Apelia La Peña. Buo na itong UP Creative Writing Center, ano? Yan, sentro ng wika. Workshop sa Los Baños at saka isa pang workshop sa Baguio. Yung bali 4 yung workshops na yon. Yun ang impression ko hanggang the last workshop. Talagang parang pinaparusahan yung mga bagong writers. Parang hindi workshop eh. Parang yun na nga. Meron mga napapaiyak na mga kasi talagang binibira ng mga critics gaya ni Nick Joaquin. They were very harsh on the workshoppers. So an idea ko ng workshop is to talagang sa umpisa pa inalalayan mo na yung manuscript ng ayan ganito, ganyan. Ang pagsulat, hindi yung sa umpisa pa, manatang ka na kagad ng kaya yan ang problema sa mga workshops ngayon. Siyempre, nung panahon na yun, binabasa ko yung mga manuscripts ng mga young writers. Pero I've not really kept up fully sa young writers ngayon. Binabasa ko yung graphic, yung Esquire. Sayang na wala na yung Free Press. Hindi naman ako nagsasubmit ng essay or anything sa Palangka, kaya wala akong Palangka awards. I was more interested in trying to in my later stages as I grow old to keep the memory alive. Yan ang tingin ko trabaho talaga ng writer. Sabi nga ni Jimmy Abade, without writers, there is no national memory. There is no memory. And I agree with him. Kaya on the whole, or in some, I prefer to be called a memoirist. Basically, you want to write because you want to express yourself. Or on the side, you want to impress your teacher. I was not thinking of prizes. So, medyo nag-iipon ako ng mga rejection slips. Well, actually, 2 lang yun. Rejection slip. Pero, matindi yun. Kaya natuwa ko yung lumabas sa Literary Apprentice, yung first story ko na anthologize sa Philippine Prose and Poetry ni wala na yun eh. Wala na yung kwan na yun. Yung anthology na yun. I write when I feel like writing. I don't follow the schedule of the other writers na they must write so many pages or words a day. Kaya siguro matagal ako makatapos ng istorya. Yeah, initially sumusulat ako in longhand. Wala pa kasi akong typewriter noon eh. So yun, nagkaroon ng typewriter because I could already afford a portable when tumatanggap ako na sweldo sa collegian. Ayun, bumili ako ng isang portable. Yan na. Type ko. So nauso na yung writing on a typewriter. It took a while for me to adjust to the computer. Walang ingay yung keyboard eh. Although the first computers that came out matunog eh. Pero anyway, pag sinabi sa akin magsulat something, hindi na ako makasulat in longhand na sa tingin ko ayan, minsan may sinasulat ako in longhand pero parang mga notes lang yon. Pero pagdating na sa kwan, titignan ko lang yung notes, susulat ako sa typewriter. Parang ang connection ng utak mo na nandun sa fingertips sa keys ng keyboard. Ganun ako kumulat. Wala akong schedule talaga for writing. Ngayon, after 20 books na edited, anthologized or original, nag-iisip ako ngayon ng kung anong susulat ko uli. Ngayon, bale, nasa gestation period na ngayon. Hindi ko malaman kung ano yung susulat ko. Ang hindi ko pa talaga nasusubukan yung pure fiction. Doon ako nahihirapan sumulat ng pure fiction. Kasi sa palagay ko naman mga writers, kung sumulat, hindi naman invento lahat panay galing din sa experience nila. Siyempre pag sumulat ako, nag-iisa ako sa kwarto. Pero when I was in newspaper work, yung panahon na yung mga early years, wala kang magagawa kundi sumulat kaya ingay-ingay ng desk. I was a rewrite for the Manila Times noon na yun. So pipilitan na akong magsulat. And as a writer noon, as a young writer, gusto ko malinis na kagad yung uulitin ko yung kaya nagali sa akin yung editor. Huwag mo uulitin, cross out mo na lang, tapos tuloy-tuloy mo na. Bahala na sila mag-copyright kasi speed was the essence of newspaper writing. I was receiving dispatches from correspondents. Yun ang ginagawa ko to write them up. I have to go to the morgue, to the library, to flash out yung story. So, yun. Kaya lang, na-discover ng UP na nagmo-moonlight pala ako. So, binigyan ako ng ultimatum. Gusto mo, what do you want to be? A newspaper man or an academic? So, kinonsult ako yung editor, si Jose Bautista. Sabi niya, better stick to the academe. Yeah, the temperament of an academic. I don't think you will last in journalism. Sabi niya, you may become a star reporter but you're still a bum. Kasi tinuro si Joe Guevara, yan, star reporter, he's a bum. Yan, ganyan. So, yun ang So the academic life was more suitable. The pay was not very much, but okay lang. Uh, uh, mga pwede rin mag-sideline, mga ghostwriting, ganyan. Kaya, mga contemporaries ko sa Manila Times, so sila Isagani Yambut, naging publisher later on. Si Rod Reyes, sports reporter, tapos naging star reporter, tapos naging publisher ng Chronicle. Si Bernie De Leon, na, who took over when I was, yung tumigil na ako as right. Sabi niya, kung pwede raw, ipasok ko siya. Sige, in-introduce ko kay Joe Bautista. Kinuha naman siya. So, naging rewrite, tapos naging deskman, and then naging mga mga assignments na naging, marami rin siyang naging scoops. Tapos naging columnist. Ang problema ko ang gusto ko sana magkaroon ng sariling beat. Kaso puno na lahat, na cover na, wala na akong malaman. And but there were special assignments. So ayun, nagawa ko yun. Okay lang ako pag ang i-interviewin ko mga academics ng ganyan. Kaya na-interview ko si Dr. Arthur Compton, who was part of the team that created the atomic bomb. Dr. Compton. Si Pocholo Romualdez was ahead, and he was already a desk man at the time I was taken in as a rewrite. O yan. Kaso related siya kay Imelda, and so he was favored as a publisher. Siya lang ang naging hindi natanggal siya sa sa Manila Times kasi sinara Manila Chronicle. Nawala sila Armando Doronila, pero Pocholo was taken in right away as editor of the Daily Express, I think. Hanggang ngayon, nandoon pa siya sa newspaper work, publisher ng Malaya. Kaya yung binisita ko siya sa opisina na kubisita, sabi niya, tumanda na raw siya dito, pero wala raw siyang magawa kundi to continue. Maski nahirapan na siya pumanik doon sa steps, papanik sa 4th floor ng opisina Himalaya, kasi Manila Times sa ibaba lang. Itong Manila Times na pinasukan ko later on was bago na ito, under Dante Ang. So si Ronnie Diaz naging editor, so kinuha niya ako as a columnist. Kaya doon ako nakaipon na maraming essays. Yun, ang 10 years, I had to keep meet a deadline. Doon ako napilitan talaga sumulat ng essays. Maganda naman ang comments ni Bian Lumbera sa mga sinulat ko. Ganon din ang sinabi ni Ronnie saka ni Sunny San Juan. So yun ang parang solid na done on a very regular basis. And hindi na ako tumagal after 10 years. After 8 years, ayoko na, sabi ko. Hindi ko gusto yung meeting a deadline. I hate deadlines. Well, kasi ang sinusulat ko is grounded in reality, in actual fact. Kaya hindi ako malayo do sa subject matter. Although natuto rin ako mag-invento. Yeah, kaya natama yung phrase ni Jeng Hidalgo na yung tinuro niya sa Institute of Creative Non-Fiction. Pero ito naman si Frank Jose, sabi sa akin Elmer, you are not a creative writer. Bakit? Sabi ko, sa loob-loob ko, hindi ba pwede ang creative non-fiction? Kasi daw yung stories ko, wala raw tension. Kailangan daw. Sabi ko, luma na yan, yung formula na yan. Panahon pa ni Aristotle yan na magkaroon ng tension. Kaya as a critic, formalist pa rin siya. Hindi niya nakikita yung mabuti yung mga context. Kaya marami dyan sa mga old writers natitira pa. Maski na si Ronnie Diaz, medyo kung pa rin yung formalist pa rin. Si Bian lang ang hindi. Pero magtingin ka sa mga judges ngayon, meron akong istorya na who made it in the top 10, sabi ni Paulo Manalo, the editor siya ng Press. Elmer, your story is in the top 10. Congratulations. At sumunod na however, hindi napasali sa top 3. That was the only story na I didn't write the story for the contest. I just wrote it. Binigay ko sa kanya. Ayun. I think that's one story I can be proud of. Sabi nga ni Fidel, mga nakausap niya, hindi raw alam ng mga readers kung ang sinulat ko essay or fiction. Ano nga ba ang sinulat ko? So, hindi ba nila naririnig yung creative non-fiction? Yun ang that's what I write. That's what I write. Creative non-fiction. Wala ko talagang pure fiction, yung pure invention. Wala. Sa mga young writers, nababasa ko lang yung mga sa graphic. Si Sarge Lacuesta, si Alma Anonas Carpio, si Joel Pablo David, si Geraldine, hindi na young writer ito. Si Geraldine Maayo. Pero parang wala na rin akong tiyaga magbasa ng ng fiction. I had to read the young writers kasi nagbibigay sila as contributions to the Sunday Times literary section, of which I was editor for 6 years. So nababasa ko sila. And meron ako na nagugustuhan, nilalabas ko. Parang kulang sa experience sa mga young. Kailangan dumaan pa sila sa maraming hirap. When I started writing, malakas pang Cold War noon. And the only library that we had good access was the UC's library sa Escolta. And maraming magagandang titles, novels, etc. Marami ring anti-communist propaganda material doon, kagaya ng The God That Failed. Kaya during that period, from the late 40s na meron akong consciousness, political consciousness, hanggang early 50s, I was what you might call a Cold Warrior. Very anti-communist. Mouthing slogans like the free world against the communist world, mga ganyan. And however, sinabihan ako ng mga tiga-UP like SB Pistola, magbasa ka nga, basahin mo ito. O di nagbasa ako, ayun din pala nangyari kay Kwan kay Joe Masison. Ang una niya mga binasa, mga anti-communist books. Mga military naman, basta anything about may communist left na yon. Kaya pati mga anti-communist na dadali sa kanilang witch hunt. May malakas ang surveillance yung panahon na yon sa campus. Si Bonnie Gillego was a confessed MIS Military Intelligence Service agent. Kaya yung nagkikita kami sa state niya, tuturo niya sa akin, oh, there is Elmer, whom I surveilled during the 50s. So he was making a clean breast of himself. Actually, he became a progressive later on and a progressive congressman of Sorsogon later on. So, because of my associations with older writers like Jose Lansang, Fred Mangahas, and then also with the Lavas, the Body Lava and Joe Lava. At saka marami pa ron sa UP, mga who are ex-communist, ganyan, or like Dr. Agustin Rodolfo, mga liberal professors na hindi naman communist pero they were all suspect. So I was one of those suspected of being a communist sympathizer. So winarningan ako ni Amelita Recio Cruz, yung malapit kay Kwan, doon sa columnista ngayon sa Enquirer, si Season. Sabi niya, at that time she was working as an assistant to the secretary of the university. Sabi niya, mag-ingat ka. Nasa listahan kanila. May nagdo-share kayapin sila sa president's office. At yung pala yung mga binibigay mga pangalan namin sa MIS. O kaya ayun, na-investigahan niya ng Board of Regents later on. Kaya nalabas sa dyaryo, 4 kami. Si SB Pistola, ako, si Dr. Ricardo Pascual, yung sa philosophy na tinawag ni Father Delaney na atheist. Kasi kay Father Delaney, pag atheist ka, you're either a communist or one step away from being a communist. Ganon kasi ang logic nila, all communists are atheists. He is an atheist, therefore he is a communist. Ganyan ang scholastic logic na tinuturo. So dahil dun sa mga witch hunts, inorganize namin yung Society for the Advancement of Academic Freedom. And then naglabas din ako ng journal, Comment ang pangalan. Kami 4 ni Frankie Jose, Alex Ufana, tsaka si si Godo Bunao, 2 Makata, isang periodista, si Frankie at that time. Hindi pa siya nagsusulat ng novel. Tsaka ako. Ayun, marami kaming nailabas na mga nationalist articles. So, in a way, nakatulong yata kami sa resurgence of nationalism. Lalo na yung nagsalita si Recto, 1951, yung commencement address niya on our mendicant foreign policy. Recto later on died in Rome under very mysterious circumstances. Pala ang balita meron siya mga kasamang Caucasians na unsuspected mga CIA. So hindi pa na talagang na-establish yung pero yun ang suspect siya. Tapos may lumabas na article na Requiem for Lumumba. As a result, si Joe Masison, who was already teaching in late 50s sa English department, tinanggal kasi he was suspected of writing that anti-CIA article. Wala na ako noon sa UP. I left in 1957. Kaya nabalitaan ko na lang lahat yung mga nangyari. Pati yung protest against the CAFA, Committee on Anti-Filipino Activities sa Kongreso. Yung malaking yun. Malaking rally yun. Sila, mga editor pa noon, si Juan. Yung naging Chief Justice, si Puno, si Pete Daroy, yun ang nag-organize. Siyang kumuha ng mga buses papuntang. Wala na ako nyo, nabalitaan ko na lang. Si Joma pupunta sa kung saan siya nagtrabaho bago na binuo niya yung KM 1964. Kaya yung 60s was considered the period of nationalist struggle hanggang first quarter storm 1970. Tapos martial law. Yun ang period na yun. And it was during the first quarter storm na involved ako sa Civil Liberties Movement, UP Civil Liberties League. Ako namuno yun. And I was attending meetings of yung kay Jokno, yung movement for the concerned citizens for civil liberties. Kaya diyan ako na involved at in effect was put in the blacklist. It was surprising, sabi ni Yabes, na nakalabas ako noon to go to Penang. Actually, I was able to get a passport because of a brother of mine sa Department of Foreign Affairs. Anyway, a year later on, the authorities caught up with my name. Kaya kinancel yung passport ko. Napilitan kami pumunta sa States, sa Canada on an asylum, as an asylum seeker. Kaya wala akong parang stateless ako noon from up to 1978. When I was forced to get a Canadian citizenship, sa nakakuha na ako ng passport. So nakakalabas na ako ng bansa, but not to the Philippines until 1982. Nakalabas na ako. And I met surreptitiously the people in the movement. And pag-bisita ko kay President Angar, sabi niya, why don't you come back? So, pinagsabi ko, pag-iisipan ko. So, sa Canada, nalagay ko na lahat yan sa istorya ko yun, the visit sa yung novela ko, yung Snows of Yesteryear. Yeah. Kaya yung libro na yon ostensibly novel but actually autobiographical na kasi. May parts na invented, may parts na pero karamihan ang the bulk is based on actual fact, on reality. Siyempre, mga political essays ko were written for people also in the movement, para bang I'm writing already for the converted. But I try my best to reach out to the uh, to the uninvolved. Sabi nga ni Bian Lumbera, my columns now were decidedly left, but I use a language that is acceptable to the mainstream, to the middle class. So yun daw ang merit ng aking sinusulat. So sa Manila Times, siyempre I write for the Manila Times readers. I try to emulate yung mga magagaling na writers like columnists. Araw sila Walter Lippmann, si James Reston, yung mga ganon. Wala na, hindi na kilala ng mga young ones yun. But I try to raise the level of column writing doon sa Manila Times. The other view. Our writers naman readily adapt to the new technology. Kaya believe ako sa adaptability nila. A lot of writing appears also sa social media and yung Facebook. Marami akong linalabas din doon. But ang problema lang, pag nawala ng internet, para kang lost. Wala kang connectivity. So, nag-post ako na isang sabi ko. So, sabi ko, pag no internet means get back to writing and finish that darn essay or story. Yan ang anak ko. So, marami nag-respond doon. Nakaka-addict talaga, nakaka-addictive ang ang Facebook. But at the same time for me, so horrific ang pag after a few hours, an hour or so sa Facebook, inaantok na ako. Kaya pag gusto ko nang matulog, magpe-Facebook ako. Yan ang roon. Pero pag nag-umpisa na ako sumulat ayon, I'm wide awake. Pag sumulat na ako, tinutuloy ko yung darn essay or story, yun, I'm very wide awake. So, dapat i-measure ko ang time ko sa Facebook at saka sa writing ko. But I think at my age, I'm entitled to a little, I should not be pressured anymore. Pwede na siguro at 88 mag-retire talaga. And say goodbye to all that. Pero wala pag minsan gising mayroong pumapasok sa utak mo, gusto mong isulat, di isulat na. Pag I'm engaged in what I call creative nonfiction, writing autobiographical pieces na disguised as fiction, yeah, I have to occasionally invent. Parang ang tingin ko rin poetic license. Kailangan para suitable to the flow of the story. So meron ko. May inventiveness din doon. Kaya yun ang kaigayan sa when you're writing on creative nonfiction. You're able to go from one sphere to another sphere of writing, of thinking. Have I been envious of other writers? Of course. I'm envious of Ronnie Diaz for winning prizes. Ganyan. Pero nara-rationalize mo naman yun Why should I be envious na hindi naman ako sumali sa contest? As I said, I never sent any, except for that one story sa Free Press. Pero I didn't realize na meron palang contest yun. Well, when I was a student, uh, there were some writers I wrote, I admired. Kagaya ni Edmund Wilson. Kwan dito kasi yun, si Mary McCarthy, si John Steinbeck. Yan, nabasa ko yan. And so, the group that we formed, we called the Ravens. Bakit Ravens? Well, we were walking across the quad doon sa may parade ground. Tapos na yung trabaho namin sa Collegian, sa Philippinensian, sa Literary Apprentice. Kasi lahat, all of us were involved in various publications sa loob ng campus. Si Ronnie Diaz, SB Pistola, Alex Ufana, Maro Santa Romana, tapos nandun din si Eka Prieto, si Andres Cruz, Bernie De Leon, and si Armando Bonifacio. Baliwalo kami. Nandun din pala si Morley Daram. So tinanong, may nagtanong, di anong tatawag natin sa grupo na ito? Actually, most of our spare time was spent in bars in Manila or in Pasay, and our favorite drink was rum. Mura kasi. Manila rum, 5 pesos a bottle. Coke, yun. And so tanong na, so what will we call ourselves? Palagay ko ako nagsabi, Ravens. Bigla nag-click. Kasi night bird. Gabi yun close to midnight na. And we were just waiting for the last bus to back to Manila, to Quiapo. Oh, so Ravens, yun. So, it existed for a while until Adrian Cristobal, marami nang pumasok na bago, decided to formalize it, incorporate it. Panahon ni Adrian Cristobal. So, meron logo, merong kuwang. So, although sabi ni Virgin Moreno, napaka-baduy naman yan pangalan nyo. Edgar Alambo. Alam mo yung grupo ni Virgin Moreno, mga sophisticated sila. They look down upon mga Tennyson, Longfellow, mga romantic writers, yung mga gano'n, ang mga binabasa nila sa Baudelaire, yun ang mga binabasa nila. That must be the older group. Virgin Moreno, Ruben Santos Cuyugan, Cesar Mahul, si Veloso, ganon. And they were looking at us as the young Turks. Bakit panilalaki lang kayo? Sabi naman, may nagsabi. Hindi namin masagot yon. The women writers then, yung mga bata, sila Amel, Lourdes Paez, nandoon lahat sila, nandoon sa group picture ng workshop ni Carmen Rigor, and so forth. May grupo rin din sila sarili. So, may grupo rin. May grupo rin itong mga lalaki. Later on, wala pa kaming political commitment noon. Although in time, marami sa kanila naging mga writers ng palasyo, like Adrian Cristobal, naging spokesman ni Marcos. Yan, si Andres Cruz. So, hati rin kami during the time of Marcos. Meron yung mga pro-Marcos. Mga ilang ka lang kami na anti-Marcos. Ako, si Raul, tsaka si Larry Francia. There were altogether mga 16 kami at the height of the Raiders group. Ngayon, 4 na lang ako, si Godo Repero nasa Cebu, si Armando Bonifacio, tsaka si Ronnie Diaz. The rest are all gone. So, wala kami dinevelop na group na to follow us. Although we heard na merong mga young writers who really followed us. Pero hindi namin nabalitaan yun. Hindi namin, at wala kami in-encourage na to brat. So, yun, pag namatay na yung 4, wala na, tapos na. Footnote na lang ang Ravens as it is. May write-up on Ravens sa encyclopedia. Yeah. Pinasulat sa akin. At sinabi ko na we started out as a drinking group of writers. Siyempre, inevitably, mga writers will have to take sides. So, during the Marcos period, yun na nga, the writers took sides. They wrote for Marcos or they work against Marcos. But earlier, some of us were under the wing of 50s ba ito, of Joe Lansang. Joe Lansang was the executive editor of the Philippine Herald. And during the 1950 roundup of the Politburo, inimbita rin ng military yung mga so-called fellow travelers, yung mga sympathizers. Ayan, kagaya ni Joe Lansang, marami yan. Mac Vicencio, Ralph Padacos, and so forth. Pati si Joaquin Po ng Popular Bookstore in Ebita. Tinorture din yan. So, yung tinotorture siya, sabi ni, tinanong siya, oh, how do you feel? Oh, what do you think? Well, you're not exactly making love with me, sabi niya. Yan ang sabi niya. This wry humor. Torture siya. So, ganon. So, but yung natapos na yon, yung period na yon, nag-iimbita rin si Joe Lansang sa mga young writers in the hope na magkaroon ng mga committed writers among us. Palagay ko, ilan lang kami na naging committed. And nabalitaan ko na later on na yun pala, we were being targeted as candidate members of the party, the old party, not this one. Candidate members. Oh, nga pala, si Efren Yambot. Sabi niya, siya rin ang nagsabi sa akin. Elmer, yung wala ka, na balitaan ko na there were just 2 of us who were being targeted. Actually, yun lang ang alam niya. Actually, may mga iba pa na kwan. So, yun ang involvement sa politics during the period of the 50s. Pag na-associate ka lang kaila Joe Lansang at saka yung mga Lava, ganyan, ano ka na, ma-blacklisted ka na, you're a sympathizer or a fellow traveler or a candidate member. So 1964, nahuli si Jesus Lava as a chairman. Na-isolate na yung old party. Si Joma was actually in charge of the youth sector ng old party. So, binuo niya yung Kabataan Makabayan, 1964, November 30, 25. Doon, from KM, lumago ang kilusan until he was able to found the new Communist Party in 1968, December 1968. Oh, ayun. It was, in a way, more successful than the old party in Kwan, in widening its scope. Kaya all throughout the archipelago, merong mga elements. Kaya mahirap na buwagin ang yung party na yan. Now, it started by Joma. So, in December 2018, it will celebrate its 50th anniversary. Kaya military ngayon, sabi, yun, wala na yung Red October plot. But there is the December Red plot. Red December na. And it will be. But it is common knowledge that the party was formed to overthrow the existing regime. But the military as a way of trying to build up again the anti-communist feelings among the people. So all that na yung mga sinasabi ng military. During martial law, maraming writers na involved sa movement. So it has its own sector, in cultural sector. So if you're a writer, you're a musician, you're an artist, or what, other arts, journalist, you belong to the cultural sector. And this sector was organized during martial law. They wrote for the underground newspapers. They illustrated. Kaya may magandang ginawa si Alice Guillermo, yung protest during the protest movement in the Philippines. Nag-umpisa kila Ben Cab, kila Jaime de Guzman, napunta dito sa mga bago, sila Neil Dolorico, yung mga bago, si Ben Santos, etc. Guy Fernandez. Kaya marami. Sa writers naman, napakarami. Maraming writers na committed. Kaya yung natapos na yung martial law, nagkaroon ng publication ng Cultural Center na headed now by Nick Johnson to make the Cultural Center open for the masses. Dati kasi daw, it was for the elite. Yan ang kaya yung Cultural Center, naglabas ng publication like Kamao, 3 volumes of underground literature. Maraming publications lumabas. Ulos, etc. Hindi ko na ma-enter, pero at saka doon mga artworks. During martial law, before martial law, binuo yung paksa. Si Bian Lumberang unang chair niya, kaya hinuli siya yung martial law na proscribe itong paksa. Panulat para sa kaunlaran ng sambayanan. Paksa. Yun ang binuo. During martial law, kagad yan. Na-outlaw kagad yan. Along with the other groups now that were formed during the 60s. So maraming writers yan sa paksa. And many of them went underground. Many of them were imprisoned, etc. Pero after martial law, revive ang writers organization na politically committed. Kaya doon binuo yung panulat. Dito ako na-involved sa panulat. Pambansang union ng mga manunulat, panulat, yun ang ilan na, medyo hindi doon kasi the last chair niya was Lilia Santiago, pumunta na sa Hawaii, nagturo, medyo na. Ako naman, I branch out to other groups like Philippine Writers Academy and so on, where we were able to have a federation of committed and uncommitted writers groups, like yung grupo ni Cirilo Bautista, yung grupo ni Rogelio Ordoñez, yung mga ganyan. Sa under one, we called it the Philippine Writers Academy, pero hindi na rin napabayaan na rin at wala na. Kaya maraming nagawa mga writers sa Kilusan. Palagay ko mas mataas na rin ang level of social consciousness, political consciousness ng mga writers ngayon because of the rich background of the 70s, the 80s, 90s. Siyempre meron pa rin mga hindi sangayon sa ganyang tingin nila, ibang tingin nila sa nila. They were more interested in mga awards, in honors, Palanga Award, National Artist for Literature. Kaya malaking struggle yun na pasok si Juan. Si Bienvenido, sabi nga ni Crip Yuson tungkol kay Bian, national artist, dapat tawag sa kanya nationalist artist for gano'n na. Pero meron pa rin divide between the hindi ko naman masasabi mga formalist writers daw. Pero yung ayaw mahawa sa politics gusto. At saka, and then meron yung mga writers na really consciously for the nationalist struggle or for the national democratic struggle or even for the communist movement. So there you are. The writers are divided generally, pero marami na ngayon. Marami na ako nababasa ang mga manuscripts galing for the mga submitted para sa Sunday Times magazine. Maraming magaganda writers, formally speaking. Maraming hindi. So, and at that time I was there, marami rin ako natatanggap from the left. Gaya nitong bagong, itong writer na napatay sa Antique, yung 7 sila. Isa ron si Maya Moore Daniel. Ang pen name niya binigay Maya Daniel. At saka magaganda yung mga artworks niya. Ayun, pinapublish ko lahat yung nagpapadala siya ng content, pinapublish ko. So, I don't have the hang-ups of some of the editors na basically anti-communist ang nila. I'm very open as a writer. I'm open. I will listen to reactionaries. I will listen to progressives. So at heart, maybe basically I'm a liberal, not the big L ng kila Noy but a liberal left of left of center. So that's how I stand today. Siyempre pag medyo ang writer sometimes write because of some emotional feelings na they undergo, mga feelings of outrage palagay mo, and then mga lyrical feelings, and that's where they become, well, I'm running out of words, lyrical in their works, and I enjoy those too. I like to read Marnie Quilates. I appreciate Jimmy Abad's writing. Even those who denigrate me as a left. So, kailangan open tayo at this late stage. There's no point anymore in holding grudges or kailangan kung ka na, you must be at peace with yourself and at peace with the others. Ganon. My father was just released from Muntinlupa, 1945. No, he wasn't just released. He was liberated by the ROTC guerrillas. And this is a story about his return to Manila. He walked from Zapote, from Muntinlupa with 4 others to Zapote, and then from there to Baclaran. Our house was just several blocks away from Baclaran. So when he saw the house, my father was a member of the Markings guerrillas. He was the executive officer of the Markings Phil-American guerrillas, Morelos Regiment. When he arrived in the house, he saw it was ruined, destroyed by the war. He was looking for us, but we were already in Sorsogon. So almost at the edge of despair, he stood up and decided to do something about the house that he built on his optional retirement pay before the war, after 15 years with the Bureau. First, he must secure the doors and clean the rooms. In the kitchen below, he found a stick broom. He swept the rooms upstairs, throwing the debris out of the windows. First, the master bedroom, whose west wall was like a sieve. Then the 3 other bedrooms of the second floor, which had holes large enough for a child to fall into. Then he worked the first floor and dining room, toilet, bathroom, and kitchen. He turned on the tap, which answered him with gurgling and spitting sounds. After minutes of that infernal noise, dirty water trickled out, but ultimately he was rewarded with clean water. He let the water run for a while, then quenched his thirst. He then took a shower in the bathroom and washed his clothes. He opened a can of corned beef hash, still part of the food bag from Captain Anderson, whom he met in Zapote, and thus had lunch on the 3rd day of his freedom, his first day of homecoming. Lying on the floor of the bedroom, and looking up at the sky through the torn ceiling and roof, he began thinking about looking for his family and his brother, whose son Armando he cradled in his arms before he died. Then he remembered that he must retrieve what he had buried in his backyard the last time he was in the house with Elias. Elias is the son. I used Elias also later on as my persona or as my narrator in later works.